Welcome to part 2 of Weebly, how to create professional, easy websites for free. So we are going to go ahead and jump right into part 2. Okay guys, so with part 1, we ended when we were talking about how to link. So how do you hyperlink words, pictures, and buttons? So we went through, of course, all of this top part of building a website. We went through the actual settings, and we went through all of these under basic. So now we're going to talk about once you put the text, once you put the picture, or once you put a button, how do you actually link it to other things? So those are the 3 things that you can link. You can link words, either titles or text. You can link pictures, and you can link buttons, such as this one, turn in here. So you can link all of those to different things. So I'm just going to play with the words up here, but they all are pretty much the exact same of how to link things. So if I wanted to link these words, I always highlight with everything I do. You don't really have to, but you just click on it. Remember, when you click on it, you always get your little panel. So I'm going to go to this little button that says Create Link. When I click that, it's going to give me several different things that I can link it to. So the first thing is a website URL. So if I click it, I can copy and paste or just type in. I'll just link this to Yahoo, for example. So you can say what website do you want it to link to. Now, I suggest, and I know I said this in part 1, but it is website etiquette that you never let your web page close. So I suggest leaving this open in a new window. So what that will do is when they click it, it's going to create a brand new window and your website will still be sitting here. So I do suggest that if you uncheck that, what's going to happen is Yahoo is going to open up in the same window. So your website will be gone unless they hit the back button. So again, just a suggestion that you leave this there. So once you put your website there, you go ahead and click the little arrow and make sure that you see a check mark. Every now and then it won't link on your first try if you don't click that little arrow and make sure that you see the check mark. Now that I see the check mark, that is linked to Yahoo. Notice that the color changed. That is part of your theme. So remember, I talked about in the first one is when you go to theme and you go to change fonts, you can come here and say, what do you want your defaults to be? So notice they have under general links. So if I come here, I can say, well, I want all of my links to be in a certain color. So that's really up to you what color you want all your links to turn. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and publish and see if that linked. Let's check out my website. I'm under the Classes tab. If I click on Welcome to my website, notice it brings me in a brand new tab and it brings me to Yahoo. If I wouldn't have clicked that, it would have taken over this tab and my website will be gone. Alright, so that's the first way to link something. I was just going to click on the picture now to show you that it is the exact same. Second way is to link to a standard page. That means you want to link to a page that's already on your website. So for example, if you were doing, let's say, a bake sale, I can put a big picture on my home page that says bake sale, but then I can link that picture to the bake sale page on my website that I created. So I can click here, go to standard page. It's showing me all of the pages that I have created. I can say, well, I want you to go to this page. And again, this is really up to you. Since it's still on your website, I would not put it in a new window because again, it's linking to something on my website. So my website will still be up. But again, it's really up to you if you want to open it in a new window. But to make sure that it sticks, I'm still going to click this and make sure that I have the check mark. Notice with both of these, you see unlink. So if I ever want to come back here and go, you know what, I really don't want that linked anymore, you can just unlink it and notice it just goes back. I have nothing. It'll take the link off. Notice I had to do it twice. Every now and then it happens. Okay, notice I don't have a check mark anymore. Product page is the exact same thing. It's going to link to a product page on your website. Remember that you cannot do a full product page unless you have a paid Weebly website. Not the paid URL. Remember, refer to Weebly Part 1. Not the URL, but the actually paid Weebly website. Blog post, you can link it to an actual blog post that you have done on your website. We don't have any blog posts on ours yet, so it's nothing to link to. You can also link it to a phone number. So if people are using this on their phone, it will directly call that number. If they're using it on their computer and they have phone access, it will do the same. So I can say link this picture to this phone number. And I can put in my phone number. Again, click the little arrow to make sure the check mark is there. And then now when they click on this picture, it's actually going to call that phone number. I can link it to a file, but I'm going to come back to this one. And I can link it to an email address. So if I click email, I put in my email address. If I can spell today, and I can link it directly to an email address. So if you have like a register now button, and again, this is what your buttons look like. So if you have a register now button, and to register they have to email you, then that's a perfect thing. You can click on the button, click on link. Notice it's the same thing. I just want to prove that to you. And you can put your email address. So now I'm going to show you how to link to a file. Remember, the 3 things you can link are words, such as your title and your text, pictures, and buttons. So to link to a file, that means you want to actually put a file on here to link. So that could be anything. That can be a handout, that can be a flyer, excuse me, whatever you want it to be. So if you're in, I'm sorry, hold on one second. My sinuses are going a little crazy. I apologize. So if you wanted to link this, for example, to a flyer, to homework, to just anything, any kind of file, you can link it to that. And then when they click on it, they actually can download the file. So when you click that, link file, you get to this page. What it does is it pretty much keeps every single file you have ever linked on any website you've created with Weebly. Honestly, I never look through this. I always just upload new. But you can come up here and search. You know, if you notice my files, I never name them anything really good. So I never search for them. But you can, you know, add it one time, search, and then upload it multiple times. But I usually come right here to upload new. And it's going to say, okay, well, what do you want to upload? Where's the file? You can either drag and drop it right here, or you can click upload file from your computer. When you do that, it's going to go to your computer files. The last thing that I opened were my pictures. And I did that on purpose because I knew I was doing this training. So it always goes to the last thing you open. Now, of course, I can go somewhere else and upload an actual file. For this purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and upload a picture since I'm here. So I double clicked on it. It says, okay, I've uploaded this file. Do you want to open it in a new window? And of course, that is up to you, but I do suggest it. Now I'm going to click on this, and there I have it. Now, if I wanted to upload it to something else later, so for example, right now the picture is uploaded, but I'm like, I want to actually do a flyer. I can go back to File, unlink it, and then just go through the process again. So let's see. I'm going to link it to something that I already have on here. I have no clue what all this stuff is, but we're about to see. So I'll link it to my 50 Plus Tech Tools handout. I'm still going to do this and make sure that it's on here. So now I'm going to hit publish so we can see how all this looks. So we know that we uploaded Yahoo to this one and we said opening a new window. We know that we did my email to this one and we did not say opening a new window. So notice it's opening exactly with that window. So now I have to click back and it does that. Then if I go down, I have my button and I told that to link to a file. So now this file is coming up because that's what I linked it to. So now if somebody wants this, they can download it and they can have it for themselves. Awesome sauce. That's a really old flyer, but awesome. Okay, so that is how you link things. Now I will say, if I'm not mistaken, email does not allow you to open in a new window. So just keep that in mind. Notice I did not check opening a new window, so that's why I took over my window. I do suggest always opening in a new window. Yeah, email doesn't give you that option. So if you put email, it will always take over your window. Again, the only ones I really suggest you not opening in a new window are the ones that lead to your website. And that's the standard page, product page, and blog post. All the other ones, if you can, I suggest opening in a new window. Okay, let's move on under our elements. So that's how you link things. That's where we left off last time. Now we're under the structure elements. So notice we have a lot of information on this one page. Just because, of course, I was teaching you about the different elements. So you have a couple of structure elements that will help you kind of break up the monotony. So one is called, I'm going to skip section for a second. This is a new feature. One is called divider. For your divider, you drag and drop it. And notice it puts a very light little line between your two sections. So it just kind of helps you break it up a little bit. The next one is called spacer. Spacer kind of does the same thing except it's not visible. So notice how I have my line and then I have my map. I may want a little space between those two. So I can add a spacer. Now notice the spacer is not visible, but it does add a little space. The cool thing about a spacer too is that you can add more space or even a little bit less space. So this really helps you be a little picky with the space on your website. Like I showed you last time, wherever you put the blue bar will be where it's at. So notice your spacer can also be on the left, the right, the top, or the bottom. Let's see how this looks on your real website. So notice I have my little line and I have my space. Spacer shows nothing, it's just the white space. Then you have sections. Now sections is a new feature, and sections is kind of what people are going to a lot now when dealing with websites. So if I come here and I put a section, the section when you add it will always float to the top. Now notice it says you can choose the section layout. So when you're talking about a layout, you see how we've been doing all this kind of stuff and putting stuff where we want to, where a layout actually helps you by showing you, hey, you know what, a picture would go good here, words would go good here, and then it kind of helps you with the layout of your website. So if I was doing a photo gallery, if I wanted to do a team page, a featured section, a menu, a contact, it'll give me different layouts. So let's look at contact. So it gives me a layout for different contact pages. Or I'm sorry, not pages, sections. So I really like this one. I like that it has a little map. It has a little form for me to fill out. If I wanted something a little bit shorter with just the form, If I wanted something with just like a little, almost like a footer, I can put that. So I will say, let's go ahead and put the footer. So it's applying a section that now, oh, sorry, save. That now I can come here and I can change it however I want to. Notice if I don't want something, I can still exit it out. So you have all of the same features as if you set this up yourself. But it is a nice little section on your page. So you see how it does that? It gives you the layout. It kind of puts a different color. So it makes it a complete section by itself. Really cool and easy to make your website look really, really professional. So let me go down a little bit, even though it's going to scroll to the top, and do another section. Let's do a team. So look how cool it will be to put a team page on here. So since I'm by myself with my company, I'm just going to put one picture. Save. And now look how cool this is. So now I can come here and upload my picture instead of having hers. My name and all that good stuff. If I click on the section itself, sorry. If I click on the section itself, notice I get edit background, move, and delete. So if I click on the section itself, because I actually really like this background. But if you click on it, you can actually edit your background. You can replace it. If you remember in part 1, I showed you all of the options for doing your header. It's pretty much the exact same thing. You can replace it. You can do the scrolling effect and all that good stuff. If you want to move it, you can move it to another page. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. You can move it to another page, or you can move it up or down this page. So if I say, I didn't want it all on the top, I actually wanted it on the bottom. Did I do 2? Oh, this one had 2. I just thought it had 1. I can actually put it on the bottom. Okay. So you can move it to the top or the bottom, and then of course you can copy it. And remember, just like I showed you with the little arrow right here in part 1, moving it will completely move it. It will take it off this page and put it on another page. Copying it will leave it on this page and move it to the other page. So you can move it or copy it. So that is what sections does. Alright, so now we're moving to media. How do we get videos on our page? I'm going to scroll to the bottom and just keep it going on the same page. So again, just like I told you in part 1, anytime you see the little Harry Potter lightning bolt, that means that is a paid Weebly feature. But what this does is the HD video allows you to put video directly on your website. Audio allows you to put audio directly on your website. So you don't have to connect the audio file through a picture or words or anything like that. You can actually just have the little audio automatically on your page. Now there is a way to still put HD video on here, but you have to put it on YouTube first. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Script document is anytime you want to add a document to your web page. So what this document is going to look like is it's going to actually put the entire document on here, and then people can scroll through it. So for example, I'm going to upload a file. Now you can upload PDFs, you can upload PowerPoints, so it just depends. Now I will tell you a little, it's not a glitch, but a little hang up. So notice when you get this box that says, sorry, we cannot display this document. Do not fret, because that's what I used to do. I thought it was a broken tool. But what it does is it's just going to just stay there for some reason until you go to another page and then come back to your page. I don't know why it happens, but it's good to have somebody to tell you that it happens and you don't think it's a broken thing. So if you upload something that takes a little bit longer to upload, if you come back, it'll still be uploading, but just do that again and then you're fine. Another thing I want to tell you is if you try to scroll down on this, it won't let you until you see the actually published page. So anytime you're in your Weebly and it will not let you scroll through it. But when you go to your published page, it should be just fine. So just a couple of things I learned just from practice. Okay. Now, I will tell you another thing. I use this document thing a whole bunch. Another thing about this is it used to be where you can do this and people could not download it. That is not the case anymore. So I just want to warn you about that. That if you put something on here where it's a document, they will be able to download it if they open up a scribed account. So just understand that if you put that document on here, they will be able to be downloaded. And usually if you're putting something on here like this, you don't really care. But I'm just letting you know. Okay. Notice, of course, anytime you click on the element, you have your other things going on. So you can tell that you want it to be a smaller document. Just when you do that, they won't see very much of it. So I usually leave my document as large. I usually don't put extra large unless the whole document will be viewable extra large. So I usually stick with the large, but it's up to you. Okay. Now we're on YouTube and Flash. Now Flash is if you have an SWF file. I always say SWV, but SWF file. Of course, Flash is dying out. So I would tell you to not do a website with a whole bunch of Flash on it because Flash is a dying product. You don't want to do that and then in like a year or so nobody supports Flash and then you have to redo all your stuff. But if you have a SWF file, again, not many companies or products produce SWF files anymore. But if you do, then this is what you can use to make it play on your website. So you would click it, you would upload the file, and then you can, do the position of it and things like that. Now, I do have an example I can show you. I do have a Flash on one of my pages that I know one day will not play. But, so this is a Flash, for example. So I have like this scrolling toolbar, and this is an actual Flash file that allows it to do that. But again, I know one day, or maybe even now on some products, this will not play for certain people. So that's why I'm telling you, you don't want to put too many Flash things on there. Okay, so now I skipped YouTube for a reason to kind of go through Flash because there's not much you can do with it. YouTube, if I put it over here, remember, look at where the blue bar is. But I'm just going to put it at the bottom. So YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel, this will help you not worry about not having the HD video. You can put it on YouTube and still put the video on your website. It does link directly to YouTube. So that means if it's not going to stop if an ad plays or anything like that. So just understand that it is connecting directly to YouTube. Now notice this video is pretty doggone big. But I'm going to show you how to fix that in a second. So you would click on it to get to your settings. This is where you would put the YouTube URL. So what video do you want this to play? So if I go to my YouTube channel and I get a URL, it's also saying make sure. Alright, now I can go paste the URL here. I can position it. Doesn't really work because it's so doggone big. I can go to spacing, and of course that's always the top and the bottom. Again, refer to part 1 of this webinar. And then I can go to advanced. Advanced is where I can come and make it a little bit smaller. So now that it's medium or large or tiny or extra large, HD or auto, I'll put it as large. Now this makes a little bit more sense. Okay. So now I have my YouTube video here, and the cool thing about this is if I have a lot of videos that I want to put on here, like maybe I have an instructional page and I have a lot of webinars or a lot of little instructional screencasts I want to put, it doesn't have to flow straight down. So you can come here and put YouTube videos on the side of each other and make like a little YouTube wall if you want to, you know. Alright, so like I told you in part 1, if your Weebly starts acting a little Weebly-ish, go ahead and refresh your screen. Now it worked itself out, but if that ever happens again, go ahead and refresh your screen, you'll be fine. But notice how cute this is. I have all kind of little YouTube videos, and they don't have to be super big and cumbersome. So I'm going to publish. If I try to play this from here, it's not going to play. So I have to publish it. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And now I have my little YouTube videos. Notice I didn't put anything in these. I didn't put anything in these YouTube videos, so nothing is showing up. It just looks like space. But in this YouTube video, I can play it directly from here. And if you worry about, well, you know what? It's so small, people won't be able to see it. They can always go full screen if they know what that button means. If they don't know what that button means, you may want to put some text down here and say, click the box on the bottom right to go full screen. It's your website. You can direct people how you want to direct them. Okay. How would that look if I wanted to put a little caption under here? It depends on if you want it to be a little bit bigger or not, but I can just kind of use this. Notice the little blue bar is only under this one video. If I come a little bit more beneath it, now it's under all the videos. So again, the little blue bar guides you. So I can be under just this one video and say, click the blah, blah, blah. You get the point. And now I have like a little caption under my video. And this is the one I probably should leave up. So now I have a little caption under my video. I'm not, because I have to scroll through it anyway. So there you go. So you have a way that you don't have to really pay to get the HD video as long as you have a YouTube channel. And last but not least, under media is file. Now I used to think the file button looked really ugly. And I would rather like put a picture there or something and link it to a file. But I saw a website that really used this very, very cool. And they just had kind of a page of files. And it was really easy to get to. You could see it. And it wasn't a lot of, it was very straight to the point. It wasn't cute, but it was very efficient. And I was like, oh, now I like file. So what file does is you can, of course, drag and drop it. And notice, it's not cute. It's not a picture. You click here. You upload the file that you want to use. It will display the file name. So if you want the file name to be something a little bit more jazzy, go ahead and name it something else. And that's it. This is how it looks. So instead of doing a picture, you can just have a whole bunch of just files. And again, I used to be like, why would anybody do that? You know, why wouldn't they put a picture and make it cute? Well, you don't always want cuteness. Sometimes you just want it to be professional. You want it to look, you know, like this. So this is how file looks. Notice it changed the little icon right here because it was a PDF. So they changed it to a PDF. And now I can come here and I can download this file. So that's the last one under media. Now we're going to e-commerce. Now I'm going to switch pages now because we have a lot on this one page. I'm going to go to my home page and start building this up. So with e-commerce, remember that you really can't have a page, a store page, without upgrading your account. So if I do this, I'll just move products, and I'm going to say add products to store. I can kind of play around with this, but some of it is not going to show up because you don't have a store page. But let's see how far it lets us get. So I'm going to say I have cupcakes. We'll act like that's a cupcake. I can put a short description. I can say, you know, how much it costs. Ooh, that's a very pricey cupcake. And I'll say save. Now notice the product said, okay, well, I'm going to go to your store page. You may add as many products as you want, but they will not be available for purchase on your site until you upgrade. So I actually wanted to show you this because I got caught up and I was like, oh, this is awesome. It won't let me do a store page, but it'll let me add products. Well, no, it won't. So I want to show you this. So even though it doesn't have that little lightning bolt with it, it's still a paid thing because it puts it on there, but it only puts it on your store page. You can't have a store page until you upgrade. So it's kind of like almost a catch-22. Okay, so just wanted to show you that. Now I was holding my page hostage. I don't want it anymore. Thank you. Okay, let's see. How can I get out of here? There we go. Alright, so it is what it is. So just to let you know, the e-commerce, pretty much don't even go there. But at the end of this, I'm going to show you a way you can get around it and make your own store. Yay! For free. Alright, so now we're going to go to more. Notice that the search box has the little Harry Potter, so that is a paid thing. The reason why I was leaving my webpage up is because I do pay for this. I want to show you. So look, this is how the search box will look if you want a search box on your page. And then they can search for a word and you'll look for that word on the website. Block quote, I really never use. All block quote does is it puts like a little quote mark around what you're going to type. And I'll show you how this looks. Social icons. You can come here and put your social media icons. Look how cute they are. They look so professional. So you can put this like maybe at the bottom or the very top of your page. And then when you click on it, you can manage the icons and say which ones you want. Notice there's a lot of inactive ones. So if I said, you know what, I do want YouTube, I can tell it to show. And now I have a YouTube button. I can also reorder the buttons and say I want YouTube first, I want Twitter first, and it'll move them around for you. Okay. Then I can go to each one and put in my profile. So then when someone comes to my website and they click on the little Twitter bird, I guess that's what he's called. I don't know if he has a name or not, but they click on it and it goes to my Twitter profile. So again, if you're looking at my website, I have these up here. They all go to these different things. Okay. RSVP form. Remember we talked about in part 1 that all of these forms can be created yourself, but it gives you a nice little template. So this is just a nice little template for the RSVP form. I'm not going to go through the settings because we did that in part 1. Survey, again, is just another form format that it gives you. You can change everything about this. Google Adsense is where you can add ads to your website. Now, Google Adsense is an agreement between you and Google. I have never did or done Google Adsense, But what it does is it puts ads from Google, not from Google itself, but it puts ads from Google on your web page. And when people click on them, you get money. So it's really up to you if you want to kind of start playing with this. But it is something that's there for you to see if you want to take advantage of. And then we have any apps that you have installed. So remember last time we talked about it up here when we went to apps, that there's a lot of third-party apps that you can now download to your Weebly, and you can see how they work. Oh, look, this is Google AdSense right here. Notice sample text, sample ad. And if I was on your website and I clicked on this, you would make a little money. So that's how Google AdSense looks. But the install apps, and anytime you install an app, it will come down here. You can get the apps up here like I showed you before, or you can come right down here to add app. It will bring you to just different apps that people have created to work with Weebly, and you can say if you want to use the free version. Some of them have paid versions. You can look at them by category. So if you want to do something dealing with marketing, notice as the popular, highest rated, the brand new ones, and the completely free ones. Logo maker, just different stuff. Okay. So this is where your ads will live. So a couple of other things I want to show you. If you go to a brand new page, notice once I start putting, I want to show you how that, let's publish and see how this stuff looks. I'm sorry. So this is the block quote. Actually, they changed it. It used to be 2 quotation marks. Now it's just this little line for a block quote. These are your different forms. So that's how that looks. So a couple of things I want to show you. So now if you see, once I actually start adding elements, I don't have this option that I'm about to show you. But if you go to a completely blank page, that's an external link. Or if you go to a completely blank page, not a blog page, notice before you start dragging elements, if you click on this, you have a couple of options. So you don't have that after you actually add elements. Oh goodness. I don't want to add it right now. Thank you though. So I don't have that anymore because I have different elements here. That went to the thing up here. But I do have it here. So what I want to show you is add layout. Notice that this looks very familiar. So if I say I want to add a menu, it adds a layout for me that takes over my elements. I'll go ahead and save it. Okay. So notice now I don't have that big space anymore that says add elements, because it puts this layout is, how do I put it? This layout is my elements. Like I can come here and now add different elements like a map or anything like that. So if you notice what it did is it pretty much put a background and it gave me a layout of a dinner menu. So if I click this again, I can edit the background. I can move it or copy it. Exactly what we looked at the other one. The difference between this, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. The difference between this is it took over your add elements instead of just making it a section. So just understand that, there is a difference. Oh, that's good. Let's have the exact same one that I did. See how I took over the entire page instead of just making it a section. So that's just kind of the difference when you're starting a new page. Save, that's fine. When starting a new page, if you just come here, That's the difference between that. Okay, I think we have a couple of questions. I'm going to stop right here before I show you how to make a store page for free. Let's answer questions. I am using Chrome as my browser. And okay, that was it. Awesome. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Yeah, I'm definitely using Chrome. Callie, it may be because when I use different browsers. It shouldn't. It shouldn't look different when you use different browsers. Now, the only thing that will make your website look different is screen size. So, you know, if I'm using a laptop that has an extended screen, and then I go to a desktop and the screen is, you know, their screen size is much smaller, sometimes your website will look a little different. My background is in color when using Internet Explorer, but black and white when using Chrome. That's not right. Yeah, I would have someone else look at it and try on their two different browsers and see what they see. And I'm definitely happy to do that. You can go ahead and type in your URL right here, and we can do it together. Alright, so while Callie's doing that, I'm going to show you how you can kind of do a store page. It's not perfect, but how you can do a store page for free. So if you're looking for it for free and you don't want to pay for Weebly to do your store page, this is something that you can do. So the first thing I'm going to do is add an image. So I'm going to say that we are going to be selling angry monkeys. Alright, so we're selling angry monkeys. The next thing I'm going to do is add a title. And again, remember, if I don't like how my titles show up, you can always go and change that under your theme. Now I'm going to add some text. Now I'm going to add, do I want another image or do I want some text? I'll just add another text box. Oh. Maybe I'll move this under angry monkeys. Of course, I'm just using this as an example. So now I have a picture of my product, I have the title of my product, I have the price of my product, and I have the description of my product. Now I want to tell them how they can pay. Again, this is just a free way. I'm going to make my picture a little bit smaller so it can kind of fit. But this is just a free way to do what your sales page is going to do. So now I can add another image. And I'm just about done. So now what I'm going to do, since this PayPal image is kind of center justified, is I will probably come up here and center justify all of my stuff, just because I'm very anal and I like things to look, you know, a little neat. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this picture to my PayPal. So whatever I want them to pay, I can link it to a website URL and link it directly to my PayPal. So now, look at that. I have a store right here, and I didn't have to pay for it. I just used all the stuff that I already knew how to use. I can even use this little splitter line to make it, you know, look like that or like that. Or, you know, I can play around with kind of the spacing of it. And then, of course, you have your spacer right here. So if I wanted to put this over there and make it look a little bit closer together, then I can put, you know, whatever, another picture or something right there. But so there I go. So if I publish, let's see if this looks professional. Looks pretty dang professional to me. And I can do it completely for free. And then if I would have linked this, when they click on this, they're going to go to my PayPal and they can pay for it. You can also, another tip is you can link a Google form here to actually place the order. So you can say, put the order here, and then on your Google form, you can put the PayPal link and then they can go pay for it. So there's a bunch of different things you can do to have a free store page without paying for a store page, if that makes sense. You can even put the Google form and embed. I showed you how to do that in part 1. You can embed the Google form just like this one down here. You can embed the Google form and just make it a little bit smaller. You can embed the Google form right here. And now you have the order form and the link to PayPal all together. And now you have a nice little store. And all you did was use the tools that I showed you of how to use Weebly. So that is about it for using Weebly. We went through so much in part 1 that I didn't think part 2 would take us 2 hours, and it did not. These are all of the different tools. Again, when you get into the install apps, you can get into a lot more things. If you want an example of a fully functional Weebly website, you are welcome to go to my website, which is educatoralexander.com, and this is a Weebly site. Now I did use some third party, like this newsletter is a different company, but it works with Weebly. But this is a paid URL, like we talked about last in part 1, and this is a paid Weebly site. But you can kind of look around and see just the different things that you can do. This is one of the little slideshows. Different things that you can do to make your site really, really functional. And that is it for Weebly Part 2.